Now we are looking at LSB 357. O come, Emmanuel. We're going to go through all 7 stanzas. Now, the first question that comes up is, how do you sign Emmanuel or Emmanuel? How do you sign that? Well, the meaning is God with us. Some people will sign Emmanuel with an I, like king, but with an I for Emmanuel. Or you could sign simply God with us, since that's what it means. Or you can sign Jesus, because that's who Emmanuel is Jesus. Or you could sign Jesus, God with us. Any of those will work. What I will often do is, for the first stanza, I'll say, O come, Jesus Christ. And then for the refrain, I will say, rejoice, rejoice. Jesus, God with us, will come to you, O Israel. So you have options there. Ransom means to buy back or to save. So buy God's people, Israel, or save them. Now, captive, lonely, exile. What's the meaning there? Well, we're captive, we're stuck in lonely exile because we're stuck in sin. We are separated from God. So you might want to include those concepts in your signing of it. Being stuck in sin, separated from God until God's Son appears. And I would sign, for appear, I would sign come, not appear. Just personal preference there. Now, Israel. Who is Israel? In stanza 1 and also in the refrain. Israel is God's people. That includes you. It's not just Old Testament Israel. It is all of God's people. So for the refrain, you could say that Emmanuel, or Emmanuel, Jesus, God with us, will come to you, God's people. Something like that. Or Israel, either one. But the point is, it really means God's people. Stanza 2. Wisdom from on high, wisdom from heaven. And what does that wisdom do? Well, Jesus orders, he plans or arranges all things. It's not orders, it's not a command, but he orders, he arranges all things, because that's what wisdom does. Wisdom makes everything fit and work together. Stanza 3. To thy tribes, your families, groups, on Sinai's height. That, of course, is talking about Old Testament Israel leaving Egypt and going to the mountain where God gave them the 10 Commandments, the whole law through Moses. So I would say something like, to your people Israel on the mountain, forget Sinai. I wouldn't fingerspell that. Just say, to your people Israel on the mountain, long ago you gave the law. Use that for the 2 lines there, the 2 middle lines in stanza 3. Stanza 4. Branch of Jesse's tree. The Bible gives us kind of a complicated picture here. King David, assigned David, was the greatest king in Israel. And God said that the Savior would be like King David. So if we picture David like a tree, the Savior would be the roots of that tree, because the Savior came before David. The Savior is eternal. And so he is, the roots of that tree. And also the Savior is descended from David. So he is a branch from David's tree. So Jesus is the roots, the tree, the main trunk, and the branch. He's all of it. Now, Jesse was David's father, so here using Jesse is synonymous with saying David. So now how do you sign that? Well, a more literal translation, still avoiding fingerspelling, you could say, "Come, you branch from David's family," and then sign that very clearly. "Come, you branch from David's family." A more interpreted meaning would be something like, "Come, you descendant from David's family." Something along those lines, but that's basically what it means there. Free them from Satan's evil rule, etc. Stanza 5. Key of David. Now, what does it mean that Jesus is the key of David? Well, key means to have control. And key of David means that he has control of David's kingdom. So you would say something like, "Come, you reign over David's kingdom. Come." That's the concept, at least. Stanza 6. Dayspring. This is talking about Jesus as the light of the world, the bright morning star. So this stanza uses a picture of light and dark. And so to keep that picture, you might want to simply say, "Come, you sunrise from heaven," something like that. And then you will disperse the sad clouds of sin and grief, because that's what the night is. Finally, stanza 7. Desire of nations. The original meaning is that Jesus came for the Jews, but also for the non-Jews, the nations. So, do all nations want him? Maybe not, but all nations certainly need him. So you could say, "Come, all nations desire you," or you could say, "Come, all nations need you." I think that may be a little bit more fitting with the meaning, and the rest of the meaning should be clear. Thank you for watching. Remember to post your thoughts or your questions. Thank you.